Think you know how to change your oil? Guess what? Most riders unknowingly do it wrong, and it's silently killing their engines. The truth is, oil is the lifeblood of your bike, but the way you handle it can make the difference between a smooth running machine and an early trip to the scrapyard. Oil itself is cheap. You can grab a bottle at almost any gas station. But your engine, that's the expensive part. I've seen riders do quick changes in parking lots, others trusting the cheapest mechanic on the block, and plenty who swear they've been doing it this way for years. But here's the kicker. Bad habits don't always bite immediately. They build up damage over time, until one day your engine sounds like a coffee grinder. Today, I'm revealing 7 hidden oil change mistakes that even veteran riders make. Avoid them, and you'll add years to your bike's life. And trust me, secret number 5 is the one almost nobody checks, and it can destroy your engine faster than running it dry. Number 1. Using the wrong oil type or viscosity. It's not just any oil is good oil. Wrong viscosity is like giving your bike the wrong blood type. Sure, the bottle might say 10W40 or 20W50 and look fine on the shelf, but if it's not designed for motorcycles, you're gambling with your engine's life. A lot of riders assume car oil will do the trick. After all, it's cheaper, easier to find, and hey, it's still oil, right? Wrong. Car oils often lack the friction modifiers and additive your motorcycle engine and wet clutch system depend on. Without the JASO MA or MA2 rating, that oil can cause your clutch to slip like butter on a hot pan. And once that happens, your engine isn't getting the lubrication it needs. The result? Overheating, sluggish performance, and eventually, clutch or bearing damage that costs way more than the money you saved. And even if you get the right oil, what you do with the quantity can be just as deadly. Number 2. Overfilling or underfilling oil. More oil must be better, right? Nope. That's the kind of thinking that destroys engines faster than a rookie rider burning out a clutch. Oil levels aren't about guesswork, they're precise. Here's what happens. Overfill your crankcase and the oil starts to foam. That aeration means instead of a steady film of lubrication, your bearings are spinning through bubbles. The crankshaft also slaps into the excess oil, creating drag and heat. On the flip side, run your engine even a little underfilled and you starve the bearings, cams, and top end of lubrication. It's like running a marathon without water. You won't make it far before collapsing. The hidden detail? Most riders don't check their oil properly. You've got to measure with the bike fully upright and the engine warm, not tilted on the side stand or right after shutting it off. Skip that, and your reading lies to you. But even the right amount of oil won't save you if you ignore what filters are quietly doing. Number 3. Neglecting or improperly installing the oil filter. A $10 filter can decide if your $5,000 engine lives or dies. Sounds dramatic, but it's true. Too many riders either skip changing their filter entirely or slap on a new one without thinking. And that laziness can come back like a punch to the gut. Here's the deal. Over-tighten your filter and you risk crushing the gasket, causing leaks. Leave it too loose and it'll seep oil while you ride. Worst of all, many riders forget to pre-lube the rubber gasket with a light coat of fresh oil before installing. That little detail ensures a proper seal when the filter heats and expands. Ignore it, and you're flirting with oil starvation, or worse, a filter that literally bursts mid-ride. Imagine blasting down the highway and suddenly spraying your back tire with oil. Not a good day. So yes, the filter may be small, but it's the gatekeeper to your engine's health. Now, imagine draining oil but leaving half the old sludge behind. Number 4. Not draining old oil completely. Picture this. A rider pulls the drain plug, watches the oil drip for a couple of minutes, shrugs, bolts it back in, and takes off thinking the job's done. Big mistake. What's left behind isn't harmless. It's sludge, carbon buildup, and tiny metal shavings that instantly mix with your brand new oil. That's like pouring clean water into a dirty glass. You're still drinking grime. The truth most riders overlook? You need to warm up the engine first so the oil thins out and drains completely. Cold oil clings to the walls and traps debris inside. And here's another insider tip. Some bikes actually have 2 drain plugs, one for each sump. Miss one, and you've basically left half the old stuff sitting there to contaminate the fresh oil. The impact is immediate. Your new oil isn't new at all. It's already diluted with the very gunk you were trying to get rid of. But even with clean oil inside, ignoring one small detail on the outside can cost you dearly. Number 5. Forgetting the crush washer or reusing old gaskets. That tiny 50-cent washer you just tossed? It's your oil's first defense. Riders laugh at it, reuse the old one, or forget it entirely, and then wonder why their bike's leaving little oil kisses on the garage floor. The crush washer isn't just filler. It's designed to deform slightly and create a perfect seal against the drain bolt. Skip it, and you're gambling with micro leaks. Here's the sneaky part. Those leaks don't always show up right away. At idle, everything may look fine. But once the engine heats up and you're revving at highway speeds, oil can seep past that worn-out washer. By the time you notice, your oil level has dropped dangerously low, starving your engine when it needs protection the most. Think about it. You spent good money on oil, filters, maybe even synthetic upgrades. Yet a 50-cent part is what's letting your engine bleed out. And if you think the washer is tiny, wait until you see how much damage torque can do. Number 6. Over-tightening drain plugs and bolts. Be-stripped threads a permanent scar on your bike's engine, as sadly it happens way more often than riders admit. Too many people treat drain plugs like lug nuts. Tighten them as hard as possible and hope for the best. The problem? Your oil can isn't designed to take brute force. Once those threads are stripped, you're looking at an expensive repair that no amount of fresh oil can undo. Here's another hidden mistake. Riders slather on thread sealant or Teflon tape thinking it'll help. In reality, that goop can break loose, contaminate your oil, and still won't fix a bolt that's been cranked down like a gorilla. What you actually need is a torque wrench, set to the manufacturer's spec. That's it. Not your feel, not your buddy's guess. Spec. Ignore it and you'll be dealing with stripped pans, oil leaks, or paying hundreds for re-thread kits. But even if you do every bolt right, the biggest silent killer is ignoring your oil intervals. Number 7. Skipping or extending oil change intervals too long. Oil doesn't last forever, and not that's whiskey, it doesn't age well. Yet so many riders believe the myth that synthetic oil will run practically forever. They'll brag, "I've got 5,000 miles on this oil and it's still golden." But here's the truth. Color means nothing. Oil isn't just about lubrication, it's about additives. Those detergents, dispersers, and anti-wear agents break down over time, no matter what. And riding conditions? They matter more than mileage. Short city trips that never let the engine fully warm up, dusty roads that dump grit into your sump, or summer heat that cooks oil faster than you think. These all kill oil life way before your odometer says it's due. Stretch the interval too far and your oil turns into sludge. Metal-on-metal wear starts chewing your bearings, and in the worst cases, your engine can seize without warning. So now you know the 7 deadly sins of oil changes. So, let's recap the 7 silent killers we just exposed. Using the wrong oil type or viscosity, overfilling or underfilling, neglecting the oil filter, not draining completely, forgetting the crush washer, over-tightening bolts, and stretching oil intervals too far. Each one may sound small on its own, but together, they're the difference between a bike that runs smooth for years and one that ends up on a mechanic's bench with the blown motor. Here's the truth most riders don't want to hear. Engines don't die suddenly. They're murdered by neglect. Oil is cheap. Motors are expensive. Spend a little time and attention now, and you'll avoid the heartbreak of seeing your bike sidelined by something that could have been prevented with a few extra minutes of care. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes have you been guilty of? Do you trust shops to get it right? Or are you a DIY rider? Drop a comment, smash that like button, and subscribe if you value your bike's life more than saving 10 minutes. And stick around because in the next video, I'll expose chain maintenance myths that could be costing you thousands.